of a wet start here today at Cadwell Park, but it's going to dry out, the sun's out. So I'm here for one of the Bennett's customer track days, which are accessible through the exclusive rewards. I'm here on this Versys 1000 long-termer. So it's not a track bike, it is a great adventure tourer, but kind of got to find out what it's like when you do push on. So I'm on a pair of Pirelli Angel GTIIs. Been great in the wet so far, wet ride up here, no problems, but probably going to have a bit of wet start to track, and then we're going to have some dry sessions later. Standard tyre pressures, not messing around with it. I've got it, I'll take the luggage off, out on track, then ride home.
So it's first session down and it was damp. I mean, Cadwell's an awesome circuit, it's brilliant. If you haven't ridden it, you get a chance, it's really worth doing, whatever bike you're on. But it's got a few tree sections and it stays damp under there. So, you know, I took it easy. I'm not the fastest rider anyway, but I took it easy around there and no problems at all. I mean, obviously the Versys 1000's got full electronics, it's got cornering, ABS and traction control. So I was quite happy coming out of corners, winding it on, knowing everything would be fine. I didn't actually really get any warnings. The tyres, great. You know, I mean, hitting those damp patches, no movement at all. And then as it dried out on the driest sections, I could really wind it on. Not really much heat got into them. I mean, I'm running standard pressure. You can see there's only a tiny little bit of rippling on there. There's hardly any movement. But yeah, really impressed with the tyres, impressed with the bike. As I say, I'm not the fastest rider, but pushing on, as you push harder, which is what I found with the Versys before, it starts to feel a little bit looser. Never dangerous, never, you know, never out of shape, but it feels loose. Now, you may have seen the video where we compared it to an S1000 XR. That's certainly a lot tauter. The Versys is an adventure tourer, and it's incredibly comfortable and incredibly versatile, given its name. But, you know, on track, when you're pushing on, and on the road, if you push hard, you can start to feel it starting to feel a bit knotted up. I've noticed on roundabouts when I might have gone out and just to see if I could get my knee down on it. As you lean right over, you get towards the pegs going down. I mean, you know, still off the pegs going down, but as you get it leant over, you can just feel that the front end feels more vague, and it didn't give me the confidence to slam it over in a corner. And it's the same out here, really. You know, I didn't want to barrel into a corner and just throw it on its ear. Again, I'm not the fastest rider. I'm not claiming to be super fast. Normally, after 3 or 4 laps, I'll have my right knee down. I normally struggle with my left knee. I've ridden Cadwell a few times on CBR6, a few other bikes. But yeah, got another session coming up. Should be dry then, so see how we get on. That's more like it. Good dry Cadwell. Brilliant, one of the best tracks you can ride, and yeah, I'm kind of finding the limits of the Versys now. Not to the point that it feels bad or anything like that, but pegs are touching down. I wasn't getting my knee down. I've never really needed to get my knee down apart from once, but you know, hanging off. It doesn't feel like a bike you need to hang right off on, and I was keeping up with plenty of stuff, a couple of overtakes, so yeah, really good ride. Now, pushing hard, the bike does feel more loose. With the peg scraping, it doesn't feel out of control or anything like that. It's more so when you're pushing at high speed. So as you're getting up to like 110, 120, any movements to the bar, if you're a little bit clunky or clumsy, you can kind of feel them through it. But it's not a track bike. You know, it's a brilliant sports tour. So if anybody's saying, oh, you know, it doesn't handle, it does handle. It's, yeah, very impressive. No problems with it at all. So the tyres as well, you know, they're a little bit of tearing on them. I've run them at completely standard pressures. I'm not getting the lean angles or the speed driving out of the corners on this bike to worry about it. And you know, it honestly goes to show that it doesn't matter what bike you've got, really it's worth having a go at a track day. It doesn't matter how you ride or what bike you've got, whether you've ever been on track, whether you're fast or not a road rider. It's just such a great experience. And you know, the Versys proved itself brilliant. There's a guy came past me on a 1090 Adventure. There's all kinds of bikes here and all kinds of levels of riding. So you talk to people here and they say that, you know, they're surprised how capable they and their bikes are, and how they think everybody's going to be very aggressive, but they're not. People are sensible. Accidents do happen, but it's very rare. And my advice would always be, ride like you would on the road, at least at first. Would you go barreling into a corner that you've never seen before on the road? No. So don't do it on track. Get a few laps in, learn the track, and then build your speed up, and you will have an awesome time. So stop worrying about your tyres. Stop worrying about what bike you've got. Angel GT2s are sport touring tyres, standard pressures, absolutely perfect. Versys 1000, it's an adventure tourer, it's a big adventure tourer. Had brilliant fun. So I'm going to go out and get some more time in.